I want to ask you all to give a warm Wisconsin welcome to the amazing Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Make it all happen.
No, there we go. Can you loosen it up a little bit? You can move the chair. There we go. All right, there we go.
Yeah!
You can always tell a school teacher, I want to keep an eye on those guys in the back. Yeah, I know why you're in the back. You don't fool me. All right, so it's good to see you all here today. It is good to be in Wisconsin. It is good to be here with a fighter like Mary Burke. That's what I am excited to be here. You know, I've been to Wisconsin lots of times in my role as a teacher, and now I'm here to be a fighter alongside you here in Wisconsin, a fighter across this country, because here's what I see as the big question across Wisconsin, the big question across America, and that is, who does this government work for? That's the whole question for me. It's a whole ball of wax here. Who does this government work for? You know, Scott Walker has given a pretty clear vision. The Republicans have given a pretty clear vision of who they think the government should work for. But I just want to spend a minute, because we're here together. And we're here together at a premier university. And I want to talk for just a little about our history as a country. You know, America was very much a place of boom and bust economy from the 1790s up until the Great Depression. The economy would go up, the banks would fail, and then it would take everybody down. Take along a lot of small shopkeepers along with it, take along a lot of small farmers. We hit the Great Depression. It was tough, and it was tough throughout the Midwest. We hit the Great Depression, and we said, as a country, we can do better. We can build something stronger. And we said there are two parts to making this work. The first one is we got to have tough rules that apply for everybody. A level playing field for everybody. I like to think of it as nobody gets to steal your purse on Main Street or your pension on Wall Street. Is we said we're going to double down on our investments in the future. We're going to build a future together. And where does that start? It starts by investing in education. That's right. From kindergarten through college, investing in education. And as a country, that is exactly what we did. A grateful nation said to returning GIs after World War II, we're going to give you a GI Bill so you can get an education. Yes. We invested in public universities, in community colleges. We invested in them. We invested in student loans. We gave subsidies to kids who were trying to get an education because we wanted American kids to be educated. We knew that the more education that every single one of them got, the brighter future they had and the brighter future our country had. Exactly. That's why we believe. And there was more to it than that. We said we're going to invest in basic infrastructure, in roads and bridges and power grids all across this great nation. Why? Because we didn't know who was going to have the great idea for the next business, who was going to tinker with something in the barn and have it turn into something, but what we were pretty sure of is they were going to need to plug in. They were going to need roads and bridges to get their goods to market. So we all invested in that, so that when someone had a great idea, they could produce good jobs for all of us. That was the idea behind it. great university. We have to stop to remember this and what it means in the history of our country. We were an extraordinary America. We invested in research.
That's right.
In scientific research, medical research, and chemical engineering, and all kinds of research. Why? Because we believed that if we built a giant pipeline of ideas, that our kids would have opportunities that we could barely dream of. That's how we would build a future. And we did. For half a century, it worked. You just look at the basic numbers. It worked for half a century coming out of the Great Depression. As our country got richer, our families got richer. And as our families got richer, our country got richer. America invested in the future and it paid off. That's how it worked. Starting about 30 years ago, the early 1980s, the Republicans turned us in a different direction. They said, no.
Turn away from the light.
Let's deregulate. Let's get rid of those rules for Wall Street. Just let them get out there and do whatever they want. Just let them paint bullseyes on the backsides of American families. They'll make billions and they'll leave the wreckage behind in our neighborhoods. That's what they did. And on basic investment, they said cut taxes for those at the top. And on the rest of it, education, basic infrastructure, research, cut. Leave people behind. Building opportunity, not for them. Instead, the motto of the Republican Party should be, I got mine, rest of you are on your own. Good luck to you. Well, I'll tell you, that's very much what Scott Walker has pulled Wisconsin toward. He is at the far reaches of what the Republicans want to do, and boy, all you have to do is look at what he's already done. An $800 million cut from education, that's not investing in the future. When he defunds Planned Parenthood, when he repeals equal pay for equal work, that's not investing in women, I guarantee. When he says that he will leave tens of thousands of people here in Wisconsin without access to affordable medical care out of some Republican ideological principle, he will let people in this state suffer, then he has told you whose side he stands on. And it is not for the people of Wisconsin. So, how does he plan to win? How's he going to make this work?
Here's
the answer. Here's the answer. He makes it clear. He's here for the rich. He's here for the powerful. And believe me, all around this country, they're pouring the money into Wisconsin to make sure that he wins this race. That's what they're hoping for. And what's the second part of the plan? To keep you out of the voting booth. Suppress the vote. Make it tougher, disenfranchise, discourage. Just discourage people. Voting doesn't matter, it's all just politics. If you don't vote, Scott Walker wins.
That's right.
So here's the deal. We can whine about this. We can whimper. We can sit around over coffee and go, or we can fight back. Me, I'm fighting back. Mary Burke because she's fighting back. The game is rigged. The Republicans rigged it, and we're ready to fight back. Are we ready, Mary? before she decided to get into this race. You know, Mary and I are people who didn't grow up having run for a big contested office as part of our plan for what we were going to do. But we saw what was on the table. And we saw that the fight had come to us. And when it does, you can back down, you can fold up, you can lower your voice, or you can throw yourself 100% into it and fight back. And that's what Mary is doing. That's what Mary is here to do. But Mary is not only fighting back, Mary is fighting forward.
Right.
Mary is fighting to help us build a future, a real future, not just for some of our kids, but a future for all of our kids. And we have to remember what that means. We have to remember that Mary is out there to fight because she believes that every kid is entitled to a good education and without getting crushed by student loan debt. Mary believes that instead of tax breaks for companies that send jobs overseas, we need to stitch up those tax loopholes, keep that money at home, invest it in our infrastructure, in our research, and build those good jobs right here in Wisconsin. Mary believes that everyone is entitled to access to affordable health insurance, and she's out there.
That's right.
Mary believes that no one should work full-time and still live in poverty. And that means raising the minimum wage. And Mary believes, I can't believe we have to say this in 2014, in equal pay for equal work, access to birth control, but more than any other part, what Mary believes, what I believe, what we're in this room to fight for is democracy.
Yes. Yeah.
Democracy. Because I want to be clear about this. Democracy is on our side. If we get out there and we get people to the polls to vote,
We win.
we will win.
We win.
We will win. We will win. The deal. Mary's been out there, I know it feels like a lifetime, right, Mary? Up before the sun comes up in the morning, still working it long after the sun goes down at night. She's working her heart out. She's working her heart out to build a future for the people of Wisconsin, for the people of this country. And now it is our turn to work our hearts out for Mary. That's what this is about. So we got 24 more days. 24 more days. As Al Franken said when he came to Massachusetts, when we had just about this much left, he said, "I know you all have families. Forget about them." Al was great on this. He said, a 7-year-old can actually take care of himself. They can work a microwave. And a 7-year-old can teach a 5-year-old to work a microwave. Now, Al was great. But it is the case. I made it across the finish line in Massachusetts. made it across because of all the people who got out there and helped make it happen. All the people who kicked $10 more into the kitty so that we could stay on TV ads. All the people who showed up, volunteered, said, I've never done this before, showed up and made phone calls. All the people who went out on canvases and knocked on doors. All the people, God bless them, who stood in parking lots and handed out flyers and talked to people face to face about what was at stake in our race. I made it because people made it happen. And now, that's where it is in Wisconsin. That's where it is in Wisconsin. Mary has done it. She did a great job last night. And the Supreme Court has done its part. Except the people of Wisconsin get to vote. I love it. So it's all out there. And now it comes down to you, the people who really make it happen. So I want to say this to you. This really is our moment in history. This is when it comes down to that first question that I start out with. Who does this government work for? The Republicans are pretty dang sure, man, they're pretty sure, that if a handful of billionaires flood the airways with their money and their message, then they're going to buy another term for Scott Walker. But it comes to us. We don't have that kind of money. We don't have that kind of concentrated power, the kind of coordination that they can do here. But what we've got is we got our voices and we got our votes and we're going to make them count.